Vivian speaking more about city life.
关注房子，关注城市，更关注生活。
I will see you every Wednesday night.
国际生活家直播采访秀 Vivian speaking， 每周3晚7点半，不见不散。
Good evening. Good evening, this is Vivian speaking, and tonight I'm lucky enough to have Julien with us tonight, and he is the general manager of a Four Seasons hotel in Tianjin, right?
That's correct.
So, welcome, Julien.
I'm very glad to be here, Vivian. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor.
Okay, thank you. And today also I have the partner Da Bai, and he's gonna talk about the Chinese part. So how about talk something first? Oh, sorry.
大家好，我是大白，很高兴又来到 Vivian Speaking。今天呢，我们有幸邀请到了天津四季酒店的总经理朱连先生。然后呢，大家都知道四季酒店呢是一家国际性的奢华性酒店。然后呢，我们在节目当中能看到，朱连先生与四季酒店的哪些故事呢？让我们期待今天的 Vivian Speaking。在此之前呢，我还会跟大家说一下，今天呢会有一个有奖问答的环节。下面请导播播一下 PPT。对，这是我们今天的第一个问题：天津四季酒店给客户提供了几种用餐选择？大家呢可以把答案发送到屏幕下方的评论当中，然后呢我们会根据大家的答案选出最快的正确的一个答案，然后由四季酒店的饼房手工制作提供了一份精致的法式巧克力和马卡龙的精美礼盒。那下面让我们进入到 Vivian Speaking 吧。
Okay, how about let's talk about in English this part, and let's have a look at the PPT. And there's two questions, right? On the beginning of the live show, we would like to ask our audience, and you can find the answer, in the later of our live show. And the first one is how many dining options does the Four Seasons Hotel Tianjin provide? Okay, this is the first one. How about the second one? Second one. Okay, so how many Four Seasons hotels Julien has opened? Okay, so you can find those two questions answer later on the live show, and you can if you have the answer, you just can text us, right, and leave us a message and in the live show, and the first one who gets the right answer will get a present from the Four Seasons Hotel. Okay, so let's back to our live show. Julien, right? This is the right pronounce of
Julien, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that you've been in Tianjin for 3 months. Already?
4 months.
Oh, 4 months already.
Yes.
Okay, so would you mind to tell us what's your first impression when you come to Tianjin?
I think it's a beautiful city for many reasons. One of the main reasons is that I wanted to come to Tianjin when this opportunity came available within the company. So I always wanted to live in China. I think it's a great destination to be in. I think it's a very dynamic city in many aspects, from a people point of view, from a tradition point of view, from a business point of view. And I'm discovering the city as weekends go by, because we all work hard during the week. And certainly on weekends is my opportunity to discover the real Tianjin, which is the one that I discover walking and, sometimes biking, but primarily walking around.
Okay, that's very interesting, because we all know that you are the GM of the hotel, right? And for this position, lots of people will say, it's easier for you to get a driver, right? And to go whatever you want. But you want to find, you want to explore the city by walking. Why? And
I think drivers are great and cars are very comfortable, primarily knowing that in summer now the temperatures are very high, but certainly I love my independence, and I have the freedom to do whatever I want whenever I want if you walk. So I think interacting with people, even if I do not have the Mandarin or Chinese skills to communicate, I always find a way to talk to people. So I think submerges into a city, entering a city by walking, by talking to people, by exploring, by asking questions, by not being afraid of feeling embarrassed, which is very important. So I think the city has certainly a lot to offer. And when the weather's good, I've walked around early morning hours, even till very late at night.
From the morning to the very late.
In some cases, I had some days where I walked around for 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours. So
wow.
And I'll decide to maybe have a bite to eat in one of the local restaurants that I don't know, but I try to find out about it.
Yeah.
I don't go to with a specific destination in mind. I just like to go where I think I want to go. I think I love architecture. I think I like to look at architecture too as well. I like to discover old streets. The contemporary Tianjin is around the hotel, the modern Tianjin.
Yeah.
I like to discover the neighborhoods. That is, this past weekend, or 2 weeks ago, I was by the university. I went to the big aqua park and around, and certainly like to mingle and talk to people. So.
Okay, actually, the Four Seasons Hotel is in the downtown, right?
Yes,
That's the
yes,
center
yes.
of Tianjin, and walking maybe is a very good option, right? You can go to a neighborhood and to explore what's what kind of culture around you, right? Around the hotel. But because you've been in Tianjin just 4 months, and are you studying Chinese already?
Not yet, but I'm committed to do that. I live in other foreign countries where I didn't speak the language, but I ended up learning. For example, I was in Hungary for a while, but certainly my wife was visiting me a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed about certainly being able to learn Chinese.
Okay.
I think part of being respectful to the country that hosts you, that is hosting you, is not only to have the behavior that we should have in a host country, but also to learn the language. To learn the language because it's very important to be able to interact with the city, with the population. But for me at work, it's also very important to be able to communicate to our employees. And to our guests too. A lot of our guests will speak English. A lot of our employees will also speak English. But I think by learning the language, you certainly are able to better understand the culture and the roots of the country. So.
Okay, but so far, and how can you communicate with the local people if you just by walking and you enjoy by your independent?
I'll try English. I've tried the other day. I met somebody that spoke Spanish because I always end up asking.
Chinese? No.
He was a Chinese person that had lived in South America for 6 months. So it's one thing, but sometimes I pull my phone to use the translation engine, or with sign languages, speaking with signs, which is obviously something that always works. But I always find
the way.
The way.
Right?
So I think you always find the way, as long as you are not shy and embarrassed about it. You can always find the way. Certainly with younger people, it's a lot easier. I think generations behave in a different manner. Yeah. But I think younger people, you can certainly find a way to communicate. So. Okay,
and because you are working in the hospitality industrial, and during the weekend, maybe you will explore the culture, explore the city. What about some restaurant? And you may go to some local restaurant. So have you found something you like best?
I like fish a lot. So
fish a lot.
I like fish. So certainly Tianjin offers China overall. I think it's a culture that eats a lot of fish too as well. But I think to me, I like to explore and taste things that I've never tasted before. For example, shellfish. It was new to me. I tasted shellfish for the first time, and I was shellfish. It's in the ocean. It's it's like it's not an octopus, but it's the shellfish. So it's a little bit chewy, but I like the texture. I like how it was prepared. So I will certainly try, because I think the food kind of defines the identity of the region too. I know that in northern China the food is very different than in the south.
Yeah.
And within the north there is many aspects, regional aspects of how the food is prepared. So I think Chinese food overall, traditional Chinese food, is quite healthy compared to some of the Western foods that we have. A lot of the vegetables, how it's prepared. Obviously, some of the food can contain quite a bit of fat too as well, because pork can be fatty. But certainly, I think I like to understand food from the basic preparation standpoint of view. Certainly, when I want to eat fish, I would like to understand what fish I'm eating. And in China, it's very common to have aquariums where you pick the fish, that was something that was new to me, and I was very intrigued about that. Actually, sometimes I might enter a restaurant as I'm walking around on a Friday or Saturday, or not Saturday, but Saturday and Sunday, and I will certainly look at a restaurant that offers a selection of fish and aquarium, and it's very interesting for me because where I grew up or where I lived in the past, that style of presenting fish is certainly very different. So
you never saw that out of China, right?
No, I mean sometimes in southern European countries, in Spain, Italy, they have some aquariums, or they get very fresh fish, because obviously in southern Europe, Italy, Spain, south of France, they also eat a lot of fish.
Okay.
But not the way it's presented here, which is certainly very interesting to me. So.
Okay. So let's have because we have some photos, and let's say what Julien has explored in China. Okay. So have a look.
So yes.
So where it is?
So this is in Beijing. It was on the boat on the lake at the Summer Palace. So actually, it was very. Thank you. It was very. I had a lot of fun because the ladies that you see on the top, I think, were talking about us, my wife and I, and I wanted to take pictures of them. So I kind of waved at them and asked them permission to take the picture. And I think they had some fun. So towards the end of the boat, as we exit, they had a couple of them spoke English quite well, and they start talking to my wife and I and asking where are we from. So they were quite amazed when I say I live in Tianjin, and they wanted to know what I do. So I told them that I live in Tianjin and I work for a hotel.
Okay. Yeah.
So this other picture is very interesting to me because before moving to Tianjin, in the Washington Post in Baltimore, where I used to live, I saw the opening of the library. They had an article. So to me, I kind of Google online when I was in the U.S. and I find out that the library was in Tianjin. So behind, yes. Yeah. And my wife, that is an avid reader, wanted to see it too as well. So. It's a lot of aesthetics. There's not too many real books, but I think the architecture, I find it fascinating. I think it's very avant-garde, and I truly enjoy spending the afternoon. And right outside the library, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to interact. The day we went, they had a lot of activities for children. So we sat down with my wife. We had a coffee, but I truly enjoy getting to the library. So.
Okay. Yeah. I heard that's maybe the biggest library, maybe in Asia. I don't know. Yeah.
It might be big in size. I don't think it's big in amount of books being stored yet, but it might be one day. So.
Okay.
This other picture is very. I love art, and I love the color of this painting. I'm sure the viewers can see that, but certainly very very interesting to me, because to me I imagine, and this was at the Summer Palace too as well. The amount of work and the dedication of the artists that did that a couple of 100 years ago, 200 to 300 years ago. So obviously I'm sure it has been restored throughout the course of the time, but to me it reflects the value of what the Summer Palace is all about, culturally and artistically. I think there's a lot that's obviously a lot of that picture has a lot to say to me. It means a lot to me. I don't know to the viewers. They might have been there and seen it, but it's certainly very, very interesting. And I love the detail, the contrast of colors. I think the richness of the blue with the green and the yellow and the red is very, very rich.
Okay, so for the details and the colors, so all of these things combined together, right?
Yes. I think the detail is very important because we hotelier, we like the detail. So to me, it's something that fascinates me, that attracts me very much.
Okay.
The detail, and I took several of them. So it's I love it. I love the color, like I said. I love the detail of it. So.
Okay. Next. This is your restaurant, right?
Yes. This is a restaurant that I walked in a couple of weeks ago, and
so you went there, by yourself, or
I was on one of my walks.
recommendation?
I was on one of my walks, my discovery walk.
Oh.
So my weekend discovery walk. So I decided to go in because I like the outside of the restaurant. I think it was interesting to me. And I walked in, it was totally packed. It was full. They had a couple of hundred people, from older people, younger people. And I enjoyed discovering the restaurant because they had this stage that these two actors were acting. I'm sorry, I could not understand what they were saying. But I asked the manager if he could let me stay there and I could view it because I was standing right in front of some of the tables. I took some pictures, I took some video, and I thought it was very entertaining. So my wife will come back and will move to Tianjin, and certainly I've already told her that we need to go and take a look at it. So.
Yeah, okay. And you are very curious, right, about this place.
Yes. So
actually, that place can be, 1920s, right?
Yes,
something like
very much so. So the like you comment, and you're very right about it. The costume of the employees that serve you goes back to the 1910s, 1920s.
Yes.
So there is again. I love things that take me back in time, because to understand a country in many aspects is a history, but be able to be taken back in time, even if this is just a restaurant, I think reflects some of the values. Just the costume. I was fascinated by the costumes of the two people on stage. And they certainly were acting, but people were paying attention. And that's where you asked me, Vivian, if I should, would I like to learn Chinese Mandarin? And I think it's a very complex language. Even if I've always liked languages, it's a very complex language, but the understanding of the language would give me a little bit more understanding of what these two people were saying. I might not understand the whole context, but hopefully one day I will be able to enter a restaurant like this one and understand what they are saying.
Yeah, I think you will do. Okay, so I think this is the first part of it, and for the last picture, and that is the very traditional Chinese character.
Yes,
right?
I love prints. I've always collected prints in pretty much any country I've been. I love a print because it reflects the art, the culture. And this print was given to me at the hotel at the Four Seasons Tianjin maybe a month and a half ago. It came rolled in a very nicely presented, and somehow the guest that gave it to me doesn't know that I have a passion for old prints. And I brought it here today. I give it to Lucy, our PR director, because I've always been intrigued about what it says. And I know it's traditional Chinese writing, and as a matter of fact, a few weeks ago I was walking in one of the parks, and they had a calligraphy class, and the teacher that was teaching the calligraphy class to some of the little students, young students, told me that he knows also ancient calligraphy or old calligraphy. So I know where the place is, and I think I need to take the print or the phone that I have the picture on the phone and show it to him, because I'm very curious. I'm going to find out what it says. So that's for sure. That's my nature is to be curious, and I love, and I think asking questions is one of the best ways to get around. So I will certainly find out what it means.
Okay.
And I will let you know.
Yeah, okay. Test me.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so this is the first part of Vivian speaking. So let's have a little break. And so we will pass to 大白。
好，又来到我的部分了。通过刚才朱炼先生的分享当中，我们可以知道，朱炼先生在探索天津的过程当中呢，有他自己独特的方式，那就是他喜欢用行走去浏览这整个城市。他喜欢这种自由自在的方式，包括浏览天津的社区，然后一些相关的酒店，还有一些大学，这样呢都可以学到很多东西。除此之外呢，朱炼先生觉得呢，语言呢不仅仅是一种交流的方式，更重要的呢是一种了解这座城市的工具。那下面呢，让我们来看一下网友都有什么样的评论吧。我们看到有的网友说四季酒店的位置真不错，然后环境也挺好的，然后还有的大家都是在赞颂四季酒店的服务啊、酒店的特色啊等等。
Lots of people talk about the service of the hotel. I mean, the Four Seasons hotel is very good.
对，我看到有一个观众这样提问啊，嘉宾都去过中国的哪些城市？对哪个城市的特色印象最深？
Okay. Is Tianjin is your first city in China? And one audience want to know that besides Tianjin, which other cities you have been? Yeah.
Yes, for me, it's the first city to live in. I had the opportunity for different reasons, obviously, to go to Beijing, which is very close and very convenient. And I had to go to Shanghai for business too as well, which another very different city and very fascinating to me as well. So I certainly am committed and I'm driven to discover many other cities. And I think besides the mega Chinese cities, to me, what I want to discover is the traditional cities in the maybe more the inside of the country, where again there is a strong presence of again architecture, a more traditional lifestyle, which I'm very intrigued.
Okay.
And again, communicating with people and trying to interact with people.
Yeah. So have you been to Xi'an?
Not yet.
Not yet, because
Not yet.
Some foreigners just told me that Xi'an is their thought about that Asian of China, so you may go there.
So I need to go. I've heard that before, and several people that I've talked to, guests and employees, managers of the hotel, have recommended for me to visit, and I will one day. Vivian, thank you.
Okay. 那你做一个解答，大白。
就是朱炼先生说他去过北京，去过上海，然后还去过对等城市，
Yes.
对也然后Vivian还建议那个我们朱炼先生去趟西安，因为西安呢是非常有中国特色的一个城市。
对，很多老外就是到了西安，觉得西安就是他们心目中的那个就是中
国。
国。对，所以我刚刚也是给他这么一个建议。Okay, let's back to our topic.
Yes.
Okay, so you are working in the industrial. Hospitality industrial for so long, right? So for how many years?
That's the only thing I've known, so I think it's 34 years. So.
Okay, so what is your first job in this field?
Once I finished school, basically, I started in stewarding. I studied hotel management, and I ended up working in New York at the St. Regis Hotel. That was my first hotel. That I worked at, and the fact that I speak Spanish, there was a large community of Cubans and Puerto Ricans, so I could use the Spanish skills. So the general manager that I remember very well, Kevin Molloy, an alumni from the school I went to, said, listen, because you speak Spanish, we're going to put you in stewarding to see how you do. So I became an assistant manager there I was maybe 23 years old, and you start and you learn how to deal with people. You learn how to manage people by succeeding or making mistakes. But I always thought that human values and understanding and being able to listen is a quality that we hoteliers need to have to understand our employees. Because obviously without our employees, that is a line employee, a maid, a steward, a manager or director of marketing, we cannot get to where we are today, which is in Tianjin with a high-end luxury product.
Yeah.
That we need to still cultivate and massage in order to get to higher levels of service. Yes.
Okay, I think lots of people, in front of the camera, and I mean our audience are waiting for you to give them some answers of the question we raised at the beginning of the live show. So how about we talk about that first? Okay, so how many for the 4 seasons hotel? How many? No. For how many dining options? Please give us the PPT. Okay, so for how many dining options does the 4 Seasons Hotel Tianjin provide?
So we offer 6 great venues for our customers to enjoy dining and experience food and beverage.
Okay, so 6.
6.
So I don't know if anybody have the right answer. So 6. Okay. So and for the second one is.
How many Four Seasons Hotel Julien have opened?
Yeah, how many 4 Seasons hotels Julien has opened?
So I opened 3 hotels. I've worked in more hotels, 4 Seasons, but I opened the 4 Seasons Aviara in San Diego. I opened the 4 Seasons Budapest in Hungary, and I opened the 4 Seasons Baltimore in the state of Maryland, next to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So 3 is the answer.
3. So we got the second answer is a 3. So the first one is 6. Okay, so the 2 answers are going to be 2 numbers, right? The first one 6. The second one is a 3. Okay, so anyway, 大白 gonna find out who gonna be the first one to have the right answer. Okay, so let's back to our live show, and you just talk about you being the general manager to open 3 hotels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Already, and the 4 Seasons in Tianjin gonna be one of them, right? So you actually, you just like the parents to the kids. You have 3 kids already. So can you share us with what kind of personality do they have, and as a parent, what kind of expectation you have for your 3 kids?
So I have three children. A daughter, the youngest one is 21, and I have a boy, Marco, that is 24, and I have a daughter that is 27 and soon to get married. So certainly, as hoteliers, we work a lot. So I give the entire credit to my wife that has spent all her life with them. So I think, to me, a basic value that is fundamental that we need to pass on to our children is the core values of respect in life, and more than the behavior is to have the natural instinct to want to do the right thing as a human being as you grow, in order to respect your family members, your friends, your colleagues. So respect is something that is very important. I think another thing that we try to pass on to our kids is the values that you fight for something in life. You have to have an aspiration, you have to have a goal, you have to have a sense of vision of where you want to go, and you have to have self-confidence. And not all of us have the same level of self-confidence, but at the same time, I think the core values of a family, if people grow up in an environment that is rich in communication, rich in support, that self-confidence in people can grow and develop. And luckily, I have 3 children that are very self-confident. So it's something that, again, we're proud of what, I'm very proud of what my wife did. So I'm a bit reserved at home as a communicator. My wife is very much outgoing. So out of the children, we have 2 that are very outgoing and 1 that is a little bit more quiet.
Okay.
But I think, we all fight for what we fight when we have children, just to make sure that they grow up to be good adults with a good job, for them to be launched throughout the course of this tough life, because life is even tougher today than it was when I was young, and it will continue to be more competitive. Today's world is very, very competitive. So I think people have to learn how to compete in a fair way with the values of respect. I think it's very important.
okay, yeah. So in the reality, actually, you have 3 kids, right?
Yes.
And I think in the hospitality industry, you also have 3 kids because you're the GM for this 3 hotel, and you opened 3 hotel already. I mean, the Four Seasons hotel, right?
Yes.
So actually, this is 3 Four Seasons hotel, just like your kids, like your own
Yes,
kids, right?
yes.
Uh-huh.
That you open a hotel or not is still your kid because you end up adopting a hotel.
Uh-huh.
So yes, you're right. We plant the seed, we work hard, and I always say, and I always say that opening a hotel is quite challenging because the first 3 years is like a toddler, is like a young child. They have to learn how to sit, they have to learn how to stand, they have to learn how to walk and talk. So we go through the same growing pains, including myself. We suffer tremendously when we are general managers to do the right thing for the business. But before that, we have to do the right thing for our employees, just to make sure that the right seed is planted. We start with the selection process of the employees. Again, core values of our employees, very, very important. I will interview all the employees in an opening. More than the technical aspect, which I care, is the heart, the value of their values, the inner values inside are very important. Are they people that like to help? Are they people that are passionate? Are they people that like perfection? Do we have people that like to smile, that are warm, that like to please? Because bottom line, we work with people in this industry. We're not technicians. We become technicians because we have to know certain technical aspects on how to run food and beverage, or understand accounting, or understand finance or marketing. So we have to be well versed. So we have a technical aspect that we need to learn, but really the core of our business is in our people, and our people is the human factor. So we deal with people, with guests. We're here to service our guests. And I always say, as a general manager, if one day I need to pick up a piece of luggage to help a guest, I'm more than glad to do that. We should be humble about it. Humility is something that is, I think, very important in our business. And to be humble, understand people, understand what our role is, and how to position ourselves on a daily basis. Where, again, you asked me about the 3 children, the 3 hotels that have opened with 4 Seasons. You take a lot of pride to see them develop, and then when you leave and you move to another hotel, sometimes another 4 Seasons that is open, it's very hard to pull yourself away from that opening, from that building, because there is certainly a lot of emotions that go to it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be passionate about what we do, and it's like letting your child go once I remember when we let our daughter go we were in Budapest. And my daughter went to London to study. She was 17, very young. Budapest, a smaller city. London, a big city. Your heart is a little bit broken. So it's the same thing when you leave a hotel. It's always your hotel in the bottom of your heart, and nobody can take that away. So
yeah, okay, I totally get it. And you talk a lot about the people, right? That's maybe the soul of the hotel. So how about we give you a little surprise, and some colleague from some people from the Four Seasons Tianjin, and talk about Mr. Julien.
Okay. I'm excited about it.
Okay, let's check it out. Wow.
Oh,
So happy that I can work with you.
Yeah, so it's
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see my colleagues that I that I love to work with. I think they're the people that carry the hotel. So very, very exciting. What a surprise, Vivian. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. She helped me to finish that. Yeah.
So I have to say thank you to Lucy, but I would like you to give me that clipping one day because it's very dear to me, and I would like I would like to keep it.
Yeah. Okay. So my last question is Julien, and how, because Four Seasons, I mean, this hotel for us is very fairly typical luxury brand, right? And so for you, you are the GM of this hotel. How do you, what is your definition for the luxury?
So luxury to different people can be many different things.
Yes.
It can be an actual tangible object. It can be a car, a vehicle, a beautiful house. It could be some beautiful flowers. But to us, luxury, the sense of luxury is, I would define that as an experience. I always say that you stay at the hotel, in a luxury hotel, and when you leave, you don't take anything with you. You take your memory, you take your feelings, you take the experience. So certainly is what we give you as employees when you come in. And I always say that it triggers all the senses that we have in us. When you enter hotel, and the first time I enter Four Seasons Tianjin, I was amazed by the beauty of the architecture, the design, again, the flowers.
The flowers. We're going to talk about later.
The music that you hear, the smell that you hear, because a hotel should have a fresh smell that is flowers, or a scented smell that is a fragrance that smells good. But obviously the ultimate is the interaction with people that stimulate those senses in you. So you might have been to our hotel, and I think you have.
Yeah.
And we would love to.
I'm the VIP of the.
I know you are. I know you are, Vivian, and we thank you for that. But certainly we love to impact people by impacting your senses. And the more we're able to do that in a refined way, with a sense of tact, finesse, anticipation, the more our guests will believe in the product that we have. So we have to be, again, we offer all that in a sense of in a humble way, with a sense of attention, with care, with finesse. And again, we're there for the people, without the local guest, without the international or domestic travelers, where, Tianjin, 97% of the travelers are domestic travelers. Without that support and without being able to impact you and delivering that luxury sense of experience that we want to give you, we would not succeed. So again, the physical aspect of the hotel, the design, the beauty of it, the marbles, the woods, the flowers is very important, but the experience is what will give you the luxury experience.
Okay. So now, 我们现在吗？是吗 ？OK， 我们现在是来重播一下吗 ？OK， 好，那我们也是因为有的观众哈也是被就是要求我们想再重播一下视频，好，我们再看一下。
Hi, Julien. I'm so happy that I can work with you. Hope that we can make this hotel the best one in Tianjin.
Hi, Julien. We can't wait to work with you, and also welcome to China.
I just started working with Julien a few months ago. We are very lucky to have him now in our team. He brought his experience that he gained in Europe, North America, and now China. And it's great for us to have someone like him with an F&B background.
We hope sales and marketing team will follow the Julien profession and energy to build our future.
In my opinion, Julien is very nice and gentleman.
Dear Julien, traditional Cantonese food from Jin House waiting for you.
Julien is a very nice general manager, and he's a very great leader.
Okay, yeah, because just our audience told us that they cannot hear it, but we can hear it right now. So it's I hope this audience can hear it now. So I think that's my question. Okay, so far. So what's going on for the audience part?
又来到我的环节了。
嗯，
从刚才朱炼先生的分享当中呢，我们可以知道，就是他已经运营过3个4季酒店了。然后呢，这3个4季酒店呢，就如同他的孩子一样，就包括这酒店的成长，包括酒店的发展，然后从创立到成长到发展到真正的运营起来，都是一个很艰难的过程，也是一个挑战。然后呢，在运营酒店过程当中呢，我们朱炼先生告诉大家要注意几个问题，一个是就是如何选择一个正确的城市，选择正确的城市把这个酒店建立在那里。然后呢，还有就是去适应那里的人文环境和需要的客户等等。对，然后下面让我们看一下观众的提问吧。然后我看见有一个观众提问到，就是和其他的5星酒店相比，4季酒店哪方面更胜一筹？
Oh, so compared to other 5-star hotel, what do you think? You know, the Four Seasons hotel in Tianjin is much better in some fields compared to others 5-star hotels. Yeah.
I think one thing that we try to do is obviously the employee experience. That is very important. So we do invest a lot of time in training our employees, developing employees, and hopefully that's what I think is going to be able to give us in the long run a full solidity on how we take care of our customers. So I think service is important. How we take care of our guests, and the physical facility too, that is beautiful, a beautiful product, very modern, very avant-garde, great design, thought in such a way that the guest feels very comfortable in it. But I think is the overall definition of the product, the quality of the product that we offer physically and through the service, I think that allows us to, somehow pierce throughout the market and get into a leadership position. Yes.
Okay.
朱炼先生解答了，就是在4季酒店的那个运营当中呢，更注重于它的服务和它的一个环境，包括它的那个大堂的装修啊，还有一些花园的装饰等等。对。
Okay. Anyway, actually, our today's topic, our topic is the special luxury of Tianjin. Okay, so the Four Seasons Hotel is a very luxury brand, and I wanted to say it's a very special kind of luxury in Four Seasons Tianjin, right? Compared to the other cities of Four Seasons, right? Because you are exploring the Tianjin, but you only been here for 4 months. Maybe later you're gonna explore more about the Tianjin culture. So I hope one day maybe you can to combine what you learned from your exploring to the business part, to the Four Seasons, and to make Tianjin Four Seasons more special. So what kind of a plan do you have already, or what do you kind of expectation for the Tianjin Four Seasons in the future?
I think to us, besides being a hotel that is in the leadership aspect, the sense of identity to us is very important. The sense of identity has to be reflected throughout the values of the Tianjin people. We're in Tianjin. We are at the origin of being a Canadian company, but being in Tianjin, we have to reflect the cultural values and the values of Tianjinese. So there's many of our customers that come that are from other parts of China, other parts of Asia, and I think the identity of Tianjin has to reflect through the service that our employees offer to our guests. Nevertheless, we keep always, I think, a sense of innovation too. I think it's very important to innovate at the service level. Clearly, we've been open for 1 year and 4 months now. We're a very young hotel. We have a beautiful product. But certainly we will develop aspects where we want to create, again, the sense of identity and be known for it. So we want to be known first for the culture of service. And that's what we hope to continue, perpetrate, and make sure that we get better every day through the hard work and the commitment of the whole team at Four Seasons Tianjin.
OK， 我觉得就是因为我们今天的主题是这个，就是天津特有的奢华，对吧？就是说，那我们四季酒店还是作为一个奢华酒店的品牌，我还是希望以后能够融入更多的天津的独特的元素。那么就是在 Julien 先生的这个不断的探索天津的就是这个文化的过程中，我相信他也会把自己更多的探索呢融入到这个酒店的发展运营中。他自己也表示呢，那么这个酒店它现在只是一个1年零4个月的一个非常年轻的酒店，那么在未来的话，很多的变革也会在发生中。Okay, so this is today's Vivian speaking. So I will be here for the next Wednesday. Okay, so see you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you, Vivian.
Bye bye.